going deep on a track that's considered legendary, I guess, in the hip-hop world. C.R.E.A.M. by the Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah.
You've given us the lyrics from Leetres.com and the Wikipedia entry for the song.
Right.
So we're going to try to unpack the meaning behind this song, explore its impact, and try to figure out why it still resonates, decades later.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting because the song doesn't really shy away from realities of poverty and crime, but it does so in a way that feels almost like a social commentary. It's not just a song, it's like a reflection of a specific time and place in America.
Yeah, and it all starts with that acronym.
Right.
C.R.E.A.M. Cash rules everything around me. Like, it's become such a well-known phrase, but listening to the lyrics, it's clear that there are layers to unpack here.
Oh, absolutely. And I think the interesting thing is that while it seems to be about the power of money, the verses, especially Raekwon's and Inspector Deck's, actually focus on the lack of money and the desperate situations it creates.
Yeah, it's like they're flipping the script on the typical money is everything narrative. Like when Raekwon says, I grew up on the crime side, the New York Times side, staying alive was no jive.
Yeah.
He's not glorifying crime.
Right.
But he's putting it within the context of survival.
Exactly. And I think, too, when you consider that Raekwon moved to Staten Island, which was perceived as safer than where he grew up, it adds another layer to that story.
Right.
It suggests that even in trying to escape a difficult environment, the pull of those circumstances and that need to survive even through crime can be really hard to break away from.
Yeah, and then you have Inspector Deck's verse.
Oh, yeah.
And he doesn't hold back at all.
No, he doesn't.
Talking about going to jail at 15.
Right.
And, getting caught up in the drug game.
Yeah.
It's a harsh reality check.
Yeah, his verse really adds that layer of social commentary to the song. He even mentions seeking guidance from an older figure.
Right.
But ultimately, the system failed him.
Yeah.
And it highlights how systemic issues can trap people in these cycles of poverty and crime.
Yeah.
And that yearning for mentorship, for a way out, is so powerful.
Yeah, it's like each verse is telling a different part of the same story. It's painting this picture of life on the margins and the choices that people make when they feel they have no other options.
Yeah.
And then that hook by Method Man comes in.
Right.
Cash rules, everything around me. It's C.R.E.A.M. Get the money, dollar to dollar bill, y'all.
Catchy.
It's so catchy.
So catchy.
But it also kind of reinforces that harsh reality that they're describing.
Right. The hook is simple, but that's part of why it works. It's almost like a mantra, a statement of fact about their world.
Right.
But it also became something that resonated far beyond their immediate circumstances.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, it's everywhere.
It is.
It's been sampled in other songs, referenced in movies and TV. It's become a cultural phenomenon.
It has.
But back in 1993, this song helped shift the focus back to East Coast hip-hop.
Right, because at the time, the West Coast sound was really dominant. C.R.E.A.M. with its raw, gritty lyrics. And that signature Wu-Tang sound brought something different to the table.
Yeah.
It really solidified the hardcore hip-hop subgenre and paved the way for other East Coast artists to tell their stories.
And speaking of that Wu-Tang sound.
Yeah.
Let's talk about RZA's production for a minute. That haunting piano loop.
Oh, yeah.
That he uses from the Turnbulls, "As Long as I've Got You." Genius.
It is.
It sets such a specific mood for the song.
RZA is a master at sampling. And it's interesting to think about how he transformed a soul song, which is often associated with love and hope, into something darker and more melancholic.
Yeah.
It mirrors the themes of repurposing and survival that are so prevalent in the lyrics, almost like a sonic commentary on their lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting, right?
Yeah.
Creates this atmosphere that pulls you right in,
Oh, yeah.
You feel the weight of their experiences in every note.
Yeah.
And that's part of why the song still hits so hard even today.
Yeah, I mean, it's been sampled by so many artists.
Oh, yeah.
Drake and Jay-Z on Pound Cake. Miley Cyrus even flipped it for her song D.R.E.A.M.
Wow.
Plus, it's popped up in movies and TV shows. It even got reworked by Ramin Djawadi for the Westworld soundtrack.
It's true.
It feels like it transcends genre at this point.
Yeah, and I think that speaks to the universality of its message, too.
Yeah.
It goes beyond just the specifics of their environment. C.R.E.A.M. at its core is about the human condition, the struggle for agency, the desire for a better life, the challenges we all face in trying to achieve our goals, whether it's financial success, creative fulfillment, or it's just finding your place in the world. That yearning for something better is something we can all relate to.
I think what makes the song so enduring is that it's both a product of its time and a timeless piece of art.
Yeah.
It captures this specific moment in history, those tough streets of New York in the early 90s. But the themes that it explores are things people still deal with today.
Absolutely. And it raises the question of how the meaning of C.R.E.A.M. might have evolved over time. Has it shifted from being purely a song about struggle to becoming an anthem for hustling and achieving financial success?
Oh, interesting.
Because you hear it in so many different contexts now.
You do hear it everywhere.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, is it still a song about struggle? Or has it morphed into this motivational anthem?
It's fascinating because it could be both.
Yeah.
It reflects the complexities of our relationship with money and success. On the one hand, it's this raw depiction of poverty and inequality. But on the other, it's also been embraced by people who see it as a reminder to work hard and achieve their dreams.
So it's like the song takes on multiple meanings.
Yeah.
Depending on who's listening and their own experiences.
Absolutely.
Which is interesting.
Yeah.
It highlights the power of individual interpretation.
It does.
What stands out to you the most about the song's legacy?
I think it's how C.R.E.A.M. prompts us to think critically about the world around us.
Yeah.
The lyrics make us confront these uncomfortable truths about poverty and opportunity. It's not just entertainment, it's social commentary that forces you to engage with these issues.
And it also makes you think about how much the idea of the American dream, that notion that anyone can achieve success through hard work, has been impacted by the realities that this song brings to light.
The American dream is a complex concept, and C.R.E.A.M. really forces us to confront the gap between the idealized version of that dream and the lived experiences of those who face these systemic barriers to opportunity. It makes us question what success really means and how it's defined differently for different people.
Because for some, achieving that dream is a much harder climb. C.R.E.A.M. reminds us that socioeconomic factors have a huge impact on people's lives.
Totally.
And that sometimes the pursuit of money isn't just about material wealth.
It's about survival. It's about seeking opportunities and having the power to shape your own future. That's a message that resonates regardless of your background.
So for you listening, C.R.E.A.M. is a reminder that money can represent different things to different people. Sometimes it's about more than just wealth.
It's about agency.
Yeah.
It's about breaking free from circumstances that might be holding you back.
And
it's about striving for something better even when the world feels stacked against you.
This song is a powerful piece of art that leaves you with a lot to think about. It's a snapshot of a specific time and place, but with themes that continue to resonate today.
Definitely.
We've unpacked the lyrics, explored the impact, and looked at why this track continues to have such a strong presence in our culture.
Yeah.
Now it's your turn to dive back into C.R.E.A.M. and see what new layers you uncover.
Whether you're listening to it again or for the very first time, pay attention to how it makes you feel, what thoughts it provokes, and how it connects to your own understanding of the world.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We hope it's given you a new appreciation for C.R.E.A.M. and the power of music to make us think and feel. You know, it's interesting because when you think about it, that title, C.R.E.A.M., it's so stark and direct. But there was actually a completely different title for the song originally.
Oh, that's right. The working title was Lifestyles of the Mega Rich.
Oh, wow.
It's amazing how much a title can influence how we perceive a song.
Can you imagine if it had been released with that title? It would have been a totally different vibe.
Yeah, Lifestyles of the Mega Rich almost sounds satirical. It wouldn't have captured that raw honesty and struggle that C.R.E.A.M. embodies. The actual title is so much more impactful, you know, reflecting those harsh realities that the lyrics address.
Yeah, it's almost ironic.
It is.
Because the song isn't really about having a lot of money. It's about the lack of it, the desperate choices that it can lead to.
Yeah, it flips the script on that typical money is everything narrative. It's not a glorification of wealth. It's an exploration of the systems and circumstances that create these inequalities.
And it forces us to acknowledge that for some, pursuing the American dream can feel like an uphill battle.
It's a reminder that we need to be aware of those systemic barriers and work towards creating a more equitable society where everyone has a chance to succeed regardless of their background.
So the next time you hear C.R.E.A.M., whether it's on the radio, in a movie, or even just in your head, take a moment to really listen.
Think about the stories behind the lyrics, the social commentary embedded in the music, and how it connects to your own understanding of the world.
This deep dive has been all about unpacking the layers of C.R.E.A.M., from its lyrical depth to its cultural impact and its enduring relevance.
We've explored its historical context, the power of RZA's production, and how its meaning has continued to evolve over the years.
I hope this conversation has sparked some new insights and encouraged you to think critically about the themes that the Wu-Tang Clan brought to light over 3 decades ago.
Because even though the world has changed, the questions C.R.E.A.M. raises about poverty, opportunity, and the pursuit of a better life are still relevant today.
Thanks for joining us on this journey.
Absolutely.
Now go listen to C.R.E.A.M. again and see if you hear it differently.